Okay guys, so we are live. Welcome back to live trading by our trader. Okay, so this is Thursday and today we had PPI, okay, a high impact news driver at 8:30. So let's just draw out some annotations and then we will see what we have for today's lunch. So this is the Sunday's opening price, okay, and let's just mark out the midnight opening price, that is the 12 a.m. midnight Thursday's opening price. That is the 21,786, okay, 21,786. That is the midnight opening price. And let's also mark out the 8:30, which is right there, that is the 8:30 opening price. This is the buy side, this is the sell side, and let's check S&P. So it made a higher high, okay, let's drop down to 5 minutes, okay, let's drop down into 3 now. So we have taken this minor buy side and we still haven't taken this out, okay, let's go to the 1 minute now. Yes, let's separate the pre-market session, which is from 7 in the morning till 9:30. That's our pre-market session. Yes, this is the pre-market session. And at 8:30, this is what PPI did. It just took out both the sides, okay. First of all, it went down and took the sellers, then finally moved higher. That is the low, okay. Send it to back, that's the Sunday imbalance. Price is trying to take the support inside this. Let's check 15 minutes. We have taken out the Tuesday's low. Out, yeah. Okay, we pumped higher and took out this high before the 9:30. Okay, now buy side has been taken out. Okay, so we have bumped into the buy side. Looks like retailer is trying to chase that on the upside now, but between the 9:30 to 10 we can also see some kind of manipulation on the downside. Okay. That is possible. Let's see that if we can now break below this Tuesday's first fair value gap, and then it should react as the inversion, but let's see. Yes, let's see. We have reached the -1 also, and that is the buy side. We have pushed into the buy side. Now we can move lower. Buy side liquidity pushed, or you can say it tagged. They have tagged into them. All these sellers was out, and now buyers are trying to chase that before 9:30, and at 9:30 they are expecting some big moves on the upside, but first it can come down and manipulate the buyers, then it can move higher. That's what I am looking at. So we have tagged the London buy side, and look at that. As I told, we can break below this, and if it closes below and once again touch the low or the midpoint of that, that can be a shorting opportunity looking for lower prices. And currently we are also trading inside the 850 to 910 macro. That is the 850 to 910 macro. And yes, now we have the shift in the market structure, and any pump higher is a shorting opportunity. I'm trying to take a short right there. SL just above this candles high, and now I'm looking for we just do some measurement on this range, that's the 50%. So yes, that is where my low hanging objective lies. Let's see. Yes, let's see guys. Let's check 3 minutes. Okay, that is good. That's the midnight opening, that's the Sunday's opening, and I am aiming below that. Let's check the 15 minutes. Okay, okay guys, so it hit our SL right there, went down. Let's see. I think it's looks like that I need to wait till 9:30. Okay. I think that was just a bump higher to trick. Let's see, macro is done. So is it going to hold this or break that? Look at that, bodies are staying inside that CB. And if we just look right here, looks like we can move lower. I don't know why I always get such bad fills, but let's see. This is what I am looking. This much I am ready to, but now it should just bump lower. Okay, body is staying inside this, and If it is going to consolidate, then it will just pump it up and down both the sides. Let's see. That is the CB. First CB. It needs to stay below this now, the midpoint of that CB. Let's see, it is currently reacting from the midpoint of that CB, which is the consequent encroachment. And let me just that T, and that is the midpoint 62, 79. Just create that. Okay, let's see. That is what I'm looking at. One bump lower before eventually moving higher. It is reacted from the midpoint of that CB, and body stays below that. Okay, and now needs to stay below the midpoint of that first presented fair value gap from Tuesday. Needs to stay below that. It looks like they can manipulate us, but this looks like to retail this will look like a flag and pole. You can see they are seeing this as pole and this as flag or something, and at exactly at 9:30 it can just bump both the sides, and then eventually will do the rest of the work. is again and again. Only back and forth price action. Let's see. Just back and forth price action still. That is just priming to retail that it looks like price is taking support. Excuse me. Let's see if we can break this below 930, before 930. Okay, 3 more minutes for the opening bell. It can also do some kind of fake bump on the upside first, but let's see. Let's see if we can break this low. Let's see if we can really break this. Yes, it did that. Both the bump. Look at that, we bumped below it and very swiftly it just bumped higher. Okay, so we have bumped higher once again and took out that buy side. Look at that, but S&P unable to do that. Okay, look at that. That's the SMT. Now it can move lower. Let's see if we can just break this BC, which it is at pawn, then it might act as the inversion, and this is the 930 opening price. That's the 930. Yep, that's the 930 opening price. And here you can see Nasdaq made a higher high while this did not. Okay, that is something to look for. bodies now are trying to stay below the 50% of that marked wick, which is gap. We have gridded that, and bodies are trying to stay below the 50% now. And let's see if we can just break that, because basically what I was looking at, that people, those who have changed this move, okay, a one round of move lower to just make them feel nervous. Okay, that's what I was anticipating, but this is good. Now retail is feeling more comfortable. They have tried, people those who have tried to chase that breakout, yes, it should just completely break that, completely break all of this, yeah, like that. That is good, but it needs to close. I don't need just a bump, I need a full body closing below this. But let's see, I can be wrong also. Sometimes I can be wrong, and I have no issues with that. Is this CB? But let me just mark this. That is the buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. But I am looking for this imbalance to act as the inversion to break this, yeah, like that. No, not like that, it needs to close it below that. Excuse me. Okay, now bodies are trying to stay above the midpoint. Let's check. Okay, now we have some really look at that, bodies try to stay above the 50% and how it is reacting on the upside. I was looking for it to act as the inversion, but it did not. Okay, so let me just remove this and let's see. It just wants to move higher and break all that out. Okay, this gap is the now the first presented fair value gap for Thursday. and let's check how we react inside this now. Let's see how price react from this first presented fair value gap. Will it be holding the 50% and move higher, or break below it and move lower just to hit them? I don't think that is going to happen. We are going to go higher. Let's see, guys, let's see. Because we have these buy stops right there. Yesterday we have moved lower and taken out, so now it's time to rock and roll on the upside. I think I was looking for a once move lower, but it has already done that, and it is going to move higher. Let me just that trade, that is what I'm looking for. People have these buy side, that will be the, but this, looking at that, let's see. Let's see, 5 more minutes to go for 9:50 to 10:10 macro to start. And now I don't want to see price going below the midpoint of that gap. This that is fine, but not below this now. Not below that. The basis of closing, it should not go below that. Look at this move. The Dow moved as we were expecting the Nasdaq to. I'm trying to reduce the risk. I will keep it right there for now. Now this down close candle should support the prices higher, and 950 should just spool higher. This is the 950. Let's just clone that and put at 1010. Okay, let's see if we can just pull it higher. This is yesterday's midnight opening range. Look at that, we are reacting from the -1 extension of that midnight opening range. This down close candle is supporting the prices higher. That is good. Okay, so now the macro started, and let's see now how it reacts inside this macro, whether it's going to spool the prices higher or consolidate. This down close should support the prices higher. Let's check. We have taken out this high on the S&P. Now, and see, let's see if we can hold that down close candle. If I just do this, that is the midpoint of that bullish order block. It should now break above this high. It reacted exactly from that. Look at that. That is, I just graded that body of that down close candle. Upper, the high, the upper quadrant, the midpoint, and the low, and it is staying above the 50%. That is what I wanted to see, but now it should just spool it higher and break this. Sorry. Now S&P is moving smoothly, and this is facing a bit resistance. Let's see, I'm reducing the risk now more. This now, that's it. Yes, it should stay only in the upper half. No, it didn't want it to do that. Let's see if we can break this completely. Yeah, like that. Look at that. Now let's see if we can. The way it is happening, it's really very frustrating, guys. Okay, now let's look at this. This should make some sense. That is the inversion, and I don't want to see price go above that. Hmm. I needed it to close below that, but let's see. This gap should remain open. Okay, this gap now should not get filled in. Yes, now let it just broke lower. Take this low out, and then